shower, but I wanted to express something before I forgot about it. Okay, you know, in the Genesis book of the Bible, it says that God created man in the image of himself. Now, I don't think he meant his looks. I think he meant his innards, his insides, his mind, and everything. But when I think about it, really, when I think about it, I think that when Adam fell asleep and Eve was made from the rib of Adam, I really think that God wanted woman to rule the earth. The reason why I say it is this: woman is the only thing that can make a human or female in any species, just about. There's a few in there that doesn't matter if you're a man or woman. I think it's cockroaches and stuff like that. Now, here's the thing. I can't imagine that God made man and all of his thoughts because men are just stupid. I'm sorry, but they are. They're so possessive. They're so jealous, but yet they'll give up a relationship in a minute. They don't mind passing your wife off to somebody else to mess around with. That's okay after they're done with you. Women aren't like that. Women have a lot of compassion. Women have a lot of love. It's hard for them to let go of that love. They have a lot of mothering in them that men just don't have. So what if we took the Bible and all the men that wrote the books of the Bible, there were no women, they said, that wrote the books of the Bible in the King James Version. But the lost scrolls, the Dead Sea Scrolls, there supposedly is a book of Mary Magdalene. There is a book of Ruth in the King James. I think that's the only woman that's in there. There's a lot of women that are mentioned, but none that have their books. But supposedly in the Dead Sea Scrolls, there is the book of Mary Magdalene and a couple other women. Now, Cleopatra was made queen. There were a lot of queens in Jesus' time and before. So I really think that man just said, oh, well, we don't want them to think that they rule over us. Really? I don't think men have it up here. I just don't. I don't think that they could have God's mentality like we do. They might be smart in the world, but they're destroying the world. Men like to fight over property that doesn't even belong to them. They like to fight over humans, women, that only belong to God. And if they just loved them, they wouldn't have to worry about that. And they'll even fight over the least littlest things. I know in the 1812, there was a man that had this great big house, this mansion, and his neighbor had a great big mansion, and the tree, the walnut tree that sat in their yard, was sitting half on one man's land and half on the other. One thing, it wasn't their land, and there definitely wasn't their tree. It's God's land. And one guy shot the other over this tree. Now, how dumb is that? To me, I got thinking about it in the shower, and I said, I think that when Adam was asleep, God had a little talk with Eve and says, I am making you from him. Maybe he should rule the earth. But boy, does he do a lousy job. All the way through history, women reign through history, but men have destroyed the earth and continue to destroy the earth. I don't think if you took all of these men's chapters and reversed it and said she did this and she did that, I think you'd see a big difference. Yeah, I do. Anyway, it's just a thought, because I don't think that men are very smart. Not when it comes to love. Definitely not when it comes to power. Because power is not all about fighting. And that's what they think it is. I want that land's mine. You can't have it, I can't have it, da, da, da. Women don't care about that crap. A lot of women don't care about that crap. The ones that are in politics, they live in a man's world. I don't live in a man's world. I live in God's world. Thank you for listening.